If you're a new vegetable gardener here in Florida, you've probably heard the rumors, or worse, experienced the frustration firsthand. Our soil often just sucks. This video is all about facing that reality and guiding you to the absolute best soil for your Florida vegetable garden, whether you're planting in the ground or filling a raised bed. I've been gardening in Florida for a few years now, and I've set up quite a few garden beds in that time. Some of them total failures, lots of them a success. But I'm going to share with you some affordable soil solutions for both our native soil and filling raised beds. And then, most importantly, I'll show you the ultimate long-term blueprint for building incredible living soil. It's going to keep your Florida garden happy and thriving for years to come. Most new gardeners in Florida fall in one of two camps. Either they go grow directly in the native soil and quickly get discouraged, or they pay for what feels like way too much for premium bags of potting mix, thinking it's the only way to grow anything here. So let's talk about exactly why Florida's native soil is so bad for growing vegetables. If you've tried to plant anything directly into your backyard here, you've probably noticed it's mostly sand, like a really dirty gray sand, not that nice pretty beach kind. This sandy base creates three major problems for growing vegetables. It has extreme drainage, meaning water just rushes through it. It holds practically no organic matter, so nutrients just leach away. And it's really too loose. It often lacks the ideal aeration and structure for roots to thrive. This is why so many new Florida gardeners quickly get discouraged trying to grow directly in our native soil. Because of these inherent challenges, many Florida gardeners, myself included, opt for raised beds as a way to bypass our native soil's shortcomings. However, whether you're building a raised bed or improving your in-ground plot, understanding why our native soil is problematic is key to building successful soil. So if that's the problem, then what's the solution? What does truly great garden soil actually look like? Your ideal soil needs really three key pillars. First, and most critical for Florida, is abundant organic matter. This is the secret sauce. Organic matter acts like a sponge, making it way easier for our soil to actually hold on to water and nutrients. It also becomes a slow-release pantry for nutrients, holding on to little snacks of fertilizer so that your plants can access them whenever they need them. Second, you need good aeration. Even with organic matter, the soil needs to be loose enough for roots to easily spread and for oxygen to reach them. This is necessary for healthy root development and for all those little microscopic beneficial organisms living in your soil. And third, great soil has a perfect balance of water retention and drainage. It's not just about holding water, it's about letting excess water drain away so that roots don't drown while still retaining enough moisture so you're not watering 5 times a day. Again, organic matter helps here. And in a few ways, we're going to discuss some really affordable ways to get lots and lots of free organic matter. So now that we know the enemy and you know the ideal, but what if you're just starting out? You probably don't have a giant compost pile or tons of big bags of coco or peat moss laying around. What's the best soil to buy right now at your local big box store to get your garden growing? Whether it's a raised bed or a small in-ground plot, you got a couple of main routes. First, reach out to your local nurseries. Many of them run landscaping companies too, and they may be able to offer you soil at a great price. And if you are able to receive a truckload of compost at a time, it can get a lot cheaper that way. But if all you have is the big guys around you there is a budget-friendly option for soil that I like that you can pick up from them, and that is Kellogg's Garden Soil. I've used their soil plenty of times when establishing new beds, and for the price, it's not that bad. I've always been happy with them. It's a century-old family-owned company that's deeply committed to organic practices and sustainability, so all their soils are OMRI certified. Currently, at the Home Depot, they're $4.24 a cubic foot. As a price example, Whitwin's, an organic shop, it's local to the Tampa Bay area. They sell pre-bagged soil for $19.80 per 1.5 cubic feet. It's a super high quality soil, but it is a lot more expensive. So let's say you want to have a little fun though, you don't want to buy pre-mixed, you prefer to make your own, here's a blend that I've used before, and it's currently part of my living soil in all of my beds at home. You want to start with 40% cocoa coir roughly, or peat moss. I like cocoa coir. It's generally my preference because it's a little bit more sustainable, but peat moss is often cheaper and it's easier to find. But both are excellent for holding on to moisture, which is important for our sandy soils, and they add that necessary bulk. On top of that, I add additional 40% of high quality compost. This is that nutrient powerhouse, your organic matter gold mine, and really the lifeblood of your soil. It brings in beneficial microbes, improves structure, and feeds your plants naturally. And then finally, the last 20%, I like to fill with either vermiculite or perlite. These are like lightweight materials and they're great for creating lasting aeration in your soil, while also helping with water retention. Vermiculite holds more water, while perlite usually provides a little bit more drainage. Choose based on what you feel like you specifically need more, but both work pretty good. And to truly supercharge that mix, or really any soil, I highly recommend adding a good dose of worm castings for extra nutrient boost and microbial activity, and also some mycorrhizal fungi. These fungi form symbiotic relationships with your plant roots, helping them absorb water and nutrients for far more efficiently. Now, while the store-bought options or initial DIY mixes are great for getting started, let's talk about the ultimate permanent solution, the path that will lead you to the healthiest, most productive Florida garden, and eventually free you from having to ever buy soil again. And this option, it takes time, but it's building your own living soil. It's cost effective, it's far more sustainable, and it's the secret to long-term success. And that is consistent, continuous additions of organic matter to your garden beds every single year. This isn't a one and done thing. This is how you truly build living, sustaining soil that gets better with every season. If you're looking to build your native in-ground soil, the best thing you can do is add tons and tons of mulch. This is where services like Chip Drop can be a game changer. How they work is they actually connect local tree companies with homeowners who want free mulch. And when I say free, I mean a literal truckload of free mulch. The huge upside to Chip Drop is that it's free, and you get an enormous quantity of organic material to really kickstart your soil. The downsides, though, are that you receive an actual truckload, which requires space for you to store it, and it requires a lot of time and energy to move it. And you don't always know exactly the composition of the plants or trees that they're using to make the mulch. So sometimes you might get undesirable wood types or weed seeds. So it's not all great, but I've used it plenty of times. But beyond large mulch additions, you should constantly be adding organic matter. Best way to do it is by chopping and dropping plants like sun hemp, pigeon pea, moringa, comfrey, nasturtiums. Add them directly into your bed. You can also incorporate grass clippings, shredded leaves, or really any organic material that won't start by seed or spreading invasively via your roots through the beds. As this organic matter breaks down, it just constantly feeds your soil, improves its structure, and helps hold water and nutrients better than anything that you can buy in a bag. And, of course, if you aren't currently composting and you're serious about building your soil, you should be composting. I've got a short on how we built our compost bins. I'll link that down in the description. And with this info, you should have a decent base understanding of what actually makes good soil. But mastering soil is really just one piece of the puzzle. The number one thing new Florida gardeners really need to know is actually all about timing and location. I break that down in my previous video. The number one thing new Florida gardeners need to know.